what we have all had our eyes on for the last month. It has been about 24 hours. About 2 hours away from it being 24 hours since the polls closed here in South Carolina for our midterm elections. And with many positions up for grabs, some of those positions have new faces while others will be returning to office.
Two of those familiar faces are Governor Henry McMaster and Lieutenant Governor Yvette, who both won re-election, but there were also many smaller races last night. Several schools around the Midlands, school districts I should say, around the Midlands, had seats that were up for grabs. One of the races that's led to some shakeup is the one for Richland School District 2 School Board. Going into the race, several members chose not to run for re-election, and now it appears the board chair won't be coming back either. With all precincts reporting, Angela Nash, Tamika Washington, Nikki Porter, and Joe Trapp were the top 4 vote getters, which means they've won the 4 at-large seats. Current board chair Teresa Holmes finished in 5th place, meaning she will not be returning to the school board. The results came just days after a scathing report by the state inspector general that called the board, quoting now, dysfunctional. One of the members who also didn't seek re-election was the board vice chair, James Manning, meaning the top 2 jobs could be held by someone new in the coming months.
All right, Darce, we just talked about returning faces, and of course, this is one I know most people saw last night. As a matter of fact, this was one of the first races in our state to be called. Governor Henry McMaster giving a sound beating over Joe Cunningham with almost 1 million votes for Governor McMaster. Now, Joe Cunningham ran a very liberal campaign as the Democratic representative. He promised to legalize marijuana. He also promised to legalize sports betting here in South Carolina. But again, he fell short. Last night at his concession speech, though, in Charleston, he announced he was not done with politics just yet, and you could see him again in the near future. Now let's talk about a race that I was involved in. I got to sit down and speak with all 3 of the candidates for Superintendent of Education. Republican Ellen Weaver defeated Lisa Ellis and Patricia Michael. Now this was a fairly close race. 55% of the vote went for the Republican candidate Ellen Weaver over Democratic candidate Lisa Ellis. Now, as you know, in this race, the Democratic candidate Lisa Ellis still working at Blythewood High School. Now, she promised things like working for teachers. Of course, she founded the grassroots effort SC for Ed, and they were very busy in the last years during the pandemic fighting for teachers' rights and talking about getting more teachers in schools and also increasing teacher pay. In the meantime, Ellen Weaver spoke much about parents deciding. She said she wants to bring parents back into the classroom, so to speak. And last night in her acceptance speech, she said, "Moms and dads, I want to put you in the driver's seat for your children's education." All right, let's take a look at another race. This time, let's look at the Ag Department. No surprise here, but Hugh Weathers will now be in his 5th term as the Agriculture Commissioner. He went against David Edmond. Edmond only got 15% of the vote. Hugh Weathers getting 77% of the vote. Now, he has been very popular. If you have seen SC Grown in your produce section, that is actually a program that was created under Hugh Weathers, and the idea is to let folks shopping here in South Carolina know the difference between a South Carolina product and something that might have been flown in from California to support our local farmers. He says, though, this might very well be his last term. And then finally, want to talk about something closer to home. WLTX does actually sit in this seat. Oh, you know what? Maybe we don't have, oh, let's see. Nope, that was not the race I wanted. Well, anyway, I wanted to talk about the race with Kirkman Finley. Heather Bauer, the Democrat, won over Kirkman Finley. She is a gym owner. She said she was running to restore abortion rights here in the state. Kirkman Finley is somebody who voted for a total abortion ban during his time there, but again, he did not win re-election. Darce?
Andrea, thank you.